Now, as we all know, Squid Game is taking over the world, and I had a Jones to watch more life or death kind of games, from sick creators, And after being a big fan of Squid Game, all the stuff that happens, and I'm not going to go over it because I'm sure you know all about it. But this is a show called Kaiji, Gyakuburai Kaiji. There's two seasons of this one, but I'm only going to be talking about the first season. So here we go. Both shows are good in their own rights. I just feel that Squid Game is a lot tighter when it comes to their editing and their pacing. The characters in Squid Game are definitely more diverse than this because in Squid Game, the main purpose of this is kaiji, which is fine because it's kaiji, it's all about kaiji. So it's all about his emotions, what he goes through. And there's a lot of range of emotions in the show, for sure. There's depression, there's anxiety, there's betrayal, there's joy, there's arrogance, like pretty much all you can think of in the show. From his side, from the bad guy side, a lot of despair that goes on in this thing. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that goes on in the show. A great narrator in the show as well. Um, really lets you feel the despair of the moments. The thing that I liked more about Squid Game is that nothing was overbearingly annoying about the way things were done in the show. They would move on quickly from a particular thing if it was lasting too long. But in Kaiji, it lingered far too long, far too often on very annoying things like laughter, like laughter over and over again. Not just with one character, but with multiple characters. They were like they'll be super overconfident and do the same like smile like over and over again. And the show would telegraph who's going to win by the way they push certain things. For example, this is spoiler for the final episode. Um, they made it very clear that Kaiji had to lose. As soon as he said that my plan is foolproof, that means he has to lose. It's quite apparent. That's like 101 right there. You never see that kind of stuff there. Like it's guaranteed to work. It's foolproof. I can't lose. You can't say that. You can't say that without the audience members thinking and knowing that he has to lose now. You got to keep it neutral. And maybe the last second you can say that kind of stuff, but don't telegraph it beforehand. So like when he went in the bathroom, he got the tissues and he was going through the whole thing. The thing I liked about it was like I already knew who was going to win because he said that, but I kept watching to see how he was going to rig the whole thing. So he put the slip, the positive slip, in the tissue box there, and I liked how he went through his whole plan, but I did not like how he told the other people around his plan because they could potentially mess it up. Especially like the right hand guy. The right hand guy was so worried and anxious the whole time, while Kaiji's face was all poker face. I'm like, why do you tell these fucking guys your exact plan? Because these guys may slip up at the last second and spill the beans or let it be known with the face, with a tell. Kaiji knows that I forget the old guy's name is really good at reading people and reading the environment, reading the room. And all his friends are behind Kaiji. If any of their face shows any kind of like worry or any kind of anxiety, anything like that, they could blow the whole cover and make the old guy think that something's up. And boy, were their faces showing it. But in the episode, the way that it was written, the old guy ignored the background people. But I was looking at the background people because they were blowing the whole thing. They were blowing the whole thing. Kaiji was poker face the whole time there, telling us the whole thing in his head. But the people behind him were just giving the whole thing away. But so, like I said, I like the whole plan of of making sure every tissue box had the same thing in there, just in case one security guard took a certain one. I like that he planned it out that way. And the old man should have known something was up as soon as he came back and desired to play the game again. That's when the old guy should have known that something was up. Like he was like, no, 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 I'm good. He kept insisting like something was up. So Kaiji knew that the plan was going to he knew that the old guy would know something was up there. So he led him in a certain way, which is very good. That's actually the way things work in reality too. You lead someone down a certain path there to get to a conclusion. That works in real life. So I like that. I like that aspect. Like I said, but the conclusion was very telegraphed because he kept saying over and over again that I can't lose. He kept saying it over and over again. I can't lose. So I was like rolling my eyes like, oh, here we go. I was watching because I was intrigued how it was going to unfold, which is great. If you're gonna blow one thing, at least have something else in the wings there to attract the viewers, and that's the way this was. It's like in Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or whatever. You kind of know who's going to win based on certain things that happen beforehand, but you watch to see how it unfolds because you want to see how cool the battle will be. Same thing here. You want to see how the mental battle will be constructed out because of the way things are unfolding. But in Squid Game, it was more along the lines of like they didn't really tell you what was going to happen. I think it was pretty clear at the tug of rope thing that the main characters can't lose anytime soon because they should have lost for sure. But it's all about it's all about the camera work, the way it was lit, the lighting, the acting, directing. It was all so well done in Squid Game. It was perfectly done, and you never knew what was going to happen to the next scene because it was all meticulously planned perfectly. But in Kaiji, they lingered too long on certain things there, making you want to skip the scene and get to the fucking point. Because if they took too long to stall for time for TV time, because they had to because they paid the bills. So I was hoping they would get to the point a lot faster in Kaiji. So Squid Game definitely gets a nod when it comes to overall directing. Um, the way Kaiji ended with the way it was, I'll put it that way, in case you don't want the whole thing spoiled. I thought it was fine, especially you had to go back and do what you have to do. So overall, they're both good shows to watch. I just think that Squid Game is a better show overall because it was a tighter show to watch. I think like the equivalent of like the nonsense in in Kaiji, the building up the things taking too long is kind of like the detective thing in Squid Game. The officer, he was doing his investigation, and I think we the viewers didn't really care about this kind of stuff, and we wanted to see more of the games and more about the characters. We didn't really care about the side story stuff. So that's kind of the equivalent of that in there. So they both have their pros and cons when it comes to stuff that people may not want to see. So like I said, they're both intriguing stuff there for sure. Now I want to see how the manga version of Kaiji is. Is it more bloody? I'll find out. That's it for now. Clack off.